Good morning, good morning. My name is Sasha with Ray of Hope, Reiki, and more. This is our spiritual message of the day, as well as because it is a Monday, we'll be pulling cards for spiritual message of the week. Like, what do we need to know? What do we need to prepare for? What should we have the heads up about? I think that I did miss the 22nd, 23rd, and I think we're on the 24th. So we've got 3 spiritual messages that we'll do for the day. I hope that everybody had a good morning. Our morning was a little bit rough. My morning person is Cutler, and he is, he's just a morning person. He's my Gemini. He wakes up in the morning. He usually a good mood. He's excited. He's like running around, gallivanting. And this morning he woke up and his eyes looked like his dad. So he had like puffy little bags. And then he said, "Can I just sleep more?" And I said, "Yeah, your brother goes to school first and you could sleep another like 30-40 minutes." And he was like, "Okay." And then like I hear Cutler crying in the room while I'm trying to get Connor ready, and I go back in there and he's like, "You ruined my excitement of the day." I'm like, "What? Good morning. You ruined all my excitement for the day," is what Cutler was saying. And I was like, "Why?" And like, obviously our life kind of revolves around Connor because Connor is autistic, and so if Connor hears people crying, it's going to trigger him. Connor already has a really hard time waking up, getting ready and getting on a bus in the morning, and then you're going to trigger him with your crying. So I'm like, we cannot cry. If we're going to cry, we're going to have to go into mom's room. We're going to have to be quiet, and we'll talk about our feelings in there. And he said I ruined his excitement because I wouldn't let him just go to wrestling and just skip out on school today and just go to wrestling this morning. And I said, the wrestling, you have like all of those kids are going to school too. Like, so the high school boys help the wrestling coaches. So there wouldn't be the other coaches wouldn't be there. Like, they don't do wrestling in the morning, buddy. So I'm trying to explain all this to him, and he's just on and on about how I'm ruining his excitement, and that he's smart enough. This is what he tells me. And I'm arguing with a child, this 5-year-old, that like, and I'm not a morning person, so I'm not awake enough for this intelligent conversation where he's talking about how he is smart enough and he knows enough that he doesn't need to go to school. He can miss out on school and go to wrestling. He can stay home with me, and he will be just fine. He doesn't need to learn anymore. He's learned it all. And I'm like, no, you haven't. And the whole point of like enrolling in wrestling, it's like it's a good thing. Like, it teaches you responsibility. You go to school and then you get to do a fun thing at wrestling. And he was just up in arms. I texted the girls this morning, Crystal and Danielle, and I was like, send me messages about going to school and how you don't get to just go do wrestling and he has to learn still. And they both sent messages, and he's growling at my phone. But you could tell that it was like changing his attitude around, because it wasn't just mom telling him. Aunties were saying you have to go to school too. And so then he finally like let me make him stuff, and we pretended like he was a kitty cat, and eventually he forgot that he really hated life today. I was like, what in the world is going on? Is this day backwards? It's backwards, right? Holy Hannah. Okay. I'm just shuffling my cards for the week. Hopefully everybody else's mornings went a lot more peaceful. I guess this screen is a little bit weird. Remember, if you want to rewatch any of my videos, they'll be on YouTube. Because these ones only stay up for 30 days now. I was like, what does this day have in store for us if the morning person, the only morning person in my house, is having a crappy morning? What kind of day is this gonna be? I do have a private Reiki at 10 today and tomorrow. I don't know that we're gonna be able to have the subscription boxes ready until Friday because this month was kind of a short month and I need to work on everything else, but that's okay. Okay, spiritual message for the 22nd was, don't concern yourself with what others think of your choices. Instead, firmly stand for them. Your decisions are your own. You choose how you show up in the world and who you spend your time with. Do whatever brings you to your knees with joy, gratitude, and belonging. And do not seek approval from others, knowing that what is right for you may not be right for someone else, and that's okay. Standing in all that you choose with no approval needed. I love that. I actually agree with that spiritual message. You really shouldn't care what other people think. And that goes down to, like, if you wanna, like this morning, I was walking back from school and I was just talking to myself. And I remember, like, when I would see people talking to themselves walking down the road, I would think they were batshit crazy and I would judge them. And now I'm that person. I don't care what other people think. I was talking to myself about, like, all the cars this morning were, like, speeding past me and there's, like, puddles everywhere. And I was just thinking, holy crap, everybody's really, like, you could just feel the aggression of the morning run this morning. So I don't think it was just Cutler. I think that a lot of people are like, oh, Monday. Like, a lot, it just seemed so chaotic. So I was just like, so then I was like, wow, this is kind of scary. And then I was singing to myself, I want to live in the present moment. I don't want to rush around today. And like, so I'm sure like people who saw me walking back from the school were like, what? That lady is nuts. But guess what? I didn't care. I didn't care. Because I was having my own little thoughts. I was living in my own little world, and I enjoyed my walk home from the school today. So you don't need approval from anybody else. Live the way you want to live. Gratitude and perfection was yesterday's. Some days you feel like you failed at life because you haven't done it perfectly. You said the thing you shouldn't have, or you didn't do the one thing you should have. When that happens, consider this instead. You are human and you're figuring out life with as much resilience and grace as you can muster. You made it to another day because you are supposed to be here. And in the moments when the weight of your perceived imperfection feels especially heavy, practice gratitude. Say thank you for what you've done right. That graciousness will shift everything because gratitude is reciprocal. Bestow it on yourself always, but especially when you need it most. Living in gratitude. That's like our theme of this year. Last year, I kept saying be selfish. You need to be selfish. You need to take your healing seriously, and you need to take a step back from your spouses, your kids. You need to really work on yourself. And this year, the thing that I keep beating into your heads is the living in gratitude and making sure that you're saying the things you're grateful for. I'm grateful that Crystal and Danielle both sent Cutler small video chats, because I mean, Crystal's on the way to work. She's a lunch lady, so she's got to do the morning rush. And you've got Danielle, who's trying to get her 2 kids ready. But they're such good friends to me that they took time out of their busy, hectic mornings as well to send Cutler a little video to help me. I would love to call Cutler's dad and try to get him to video chat him and get him to like get out of the funk, but he's working on trains, and the rail yard, the internet's bad, and you're not supposed to be on your phones, blah, 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 blah. So it was nice that they took that time out. So I'm really grateful for my friends. And I'm grateful that I get to walk Cutler to school and get to have that moment outside. And I didn't wear a hat today because it was like kind of a warm day, so it was starting to be nice. I mean, it's like wet and there's puddles everywhere, but everything's melting, and I didn't have to wear a hat, which was nice. I went in to torture the little baby chicks this morning to check on them, and they're actually all laying so sweetly together, and like it almost looks like they're kind of taking a little nap. So I didn't torture the chicks, but I'm glad that they're like all cozy and lovey to each other. I'm still grateful that my Reiki yesterday switched to today, because yesterday I needed to get so many more things done and it just didn't work. I'm also thankful that me and Troy are just becoming closer and closer together again. It may sound silly, but there was like this video that came on to, I think it was TikTok or something, and these ladies, like this person was asking men questions about their spouse. And so like I kept pausing the video and asking Troy the questions. Like on all these men were getting stuff wrong, and Troy knew every single question about me. Like I say that he's the woman in our relationship, and he honestly kind of is. The way he remembers details, the way he is so crafty, the way he like is the perfectionist about, like he's the clean one of the 2 of us. He is the organized one. I'm like the little chaotic squirrel that has little ADHD piles everywhere. But I was asking him all those questions. I was like, man, like I love that. I love that he knows me so well, and he's not like one of these guys that doesn't, like, they've been married for like 15 years and can't answer those simplest of questions, like what's your favorite meal, what's your favorite movie, what's this. And the favorite movie one, like he knew my favorite movie, and I know that we have watched his favorite movie before, but I like will just play on my phone because I'm just not interested in old movies. I'm more of a cartoon girl. I like Disney and Harry Potter and Jurassic Park, and like I was one of those people that watched the same movie over and 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 over again, because then it wouldn't give me anxiety because I know the outcome. And his favorite movie is The Count of Monte Cristo. You know what I'm talking about. If you know the movie, I want to say Crisco, but that's oil. Something. You know what I'm talking about. And I know that we've watched it multiple times together, and I've never paid attention, and I never felt interested, and like I'll just make sure I'm doing something else while I'm watching it, like laundry or something. And so I was like, that's not really nice. I should probably watch this movie and see why he likes it so much. And so we actually watched it, and I did like it. And then I was like, why do you like it though? Like, let's dissect it, and why do you like it? Because I'm all about dissecting things now and figuring out why. And I feel like he really likes it because it's a story of like the underdog. And it's a story of like he's being betrayed, but he still overcomes everything. And then the love story, like they come back together, and he finds out that she never stopped loving him, and it's just such a sweet movie. And I don't know why I never was interested in it, but I should be more actively interested in the things my husband's interested in. It's so hard too, because he talks a lot. He talks a lot. So I tend to like scroll on my phone or like try not to listen, and I'm really trying to actively listen to when he's talking. So I'll take my phone and I'll like flip it over and I'll try to actively look at him and have like, a lot of the times he's talking about like a project that I'm very much not interested in, but you have to try to actively be active in your relationship, in listening to things that you're even not like interested in. So I don't know why we got on that tangent. Why did we get on that tangent? Because gratitude. I'm grateful. I told him when he was talking about that project, because he wants to beef up the shed that he bought. He bought like a metal shed, but it's not like super sturdy. He got it off of Amazon, I want to say, and it's for like the chicken feed. But he keeps going back and forth on whether he wants to beef it up with some wood supports and make a better roof and do different like things. Oh my gosh, that man like could make a project out of anything. And he kept saying, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And then last night he was finally talking, like, this is like the 5th time we've talked about this shed. And it's just so hard to listen. And I'm like, putting my phone down and looking in his eyes like, oh my gosh, this shed. I don't care about this shed. I don't care. But I do care, because I care about my husband. So, he said, I am going to beef it up. I am going to add some supports. I am going to do different metal screws. Something about the screws, like, you guys don't care. Something about how the screws they came with had plastic washers, and he wants to get like these other screws that are better quality, and they have different washers, because he's worried that there might be a little bit of leakage or something, and this is our forever home, so he needs to make sure that everything is like perfect the way it is, and stuff like that. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't care. But I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. This is our forever home. You really should work on that. But I used to get so mad at the projects, because he could just make a project out of anything. And it's kind of like, for me, I was thinking it's his way out of taking care of the kids or helping me inside the house. And honestly, it's his form of meditation. It's his form of peace. It's his form of healing. And when he wasn't doing those things and he was inside helping me more, we were fighting a lot more, and he was feeling trapped a lot more. And then like, he just wasn't, his depression was getting so much worse. And now I'm like, you can, go ahead, beef up that shed. And then I was like, and build that loft, because he wants to build like before we got the crazy chicken, he was talking about building like stairs to go up to the top part of the chicken coop, not the actual chicken coop, but like the surrounding stuff in the chicken coop, and how he can build a loft up there, so that, because some chickens like to get up high, and they like to be on like, I don't know what they call, like the roosting bars that they have and stuff, but he wants to build them like a little loft part. And it works great, because El Pollo Loco, the girls are still being mean to her. The rooster still kind of likes her, but he hates the fact that he has to keep breaking up fights between the ladies. And so she's always jumping on the things that are high. Like, she jumps on the bars that we have. She jumps on the chicken coop and stuff like that. So she's really going to like that loft. But just live in gratitude and be grateful for the things that you have and the stuff that's going on in your life, and it makes everything that's negative go away. Good morning, Jessica. Okay, the next thing, it's funny too, because this it says that there's like no people in here. I think I have 2 people on Instagram, which I normally have nobody, but it says there's only like 1 person, and then no people on Facebook. But a couple of you have commented, so good morning to whoever is in here. The actual spiritual message for today is reality and dreams coexist in possibility. Dreams exist to lead us towards new possibilities. Dreams are not in competition with our reality. You can have both. Your version of being realistic doesn't mean that you can't work towards a bigger, brighter, and more bold vision. But the moment that you decide that you must choose one or the other, you've chosen fear over possibility. You've chosen your current experience over what could be. Consider that reality is simply what you make it, and you get to decide what your reality is. The world can sometimes be too cynical. Don't allow that cynicism to creep into your vision of what's possible, and don't allow someone else's version of reality to compromise your dreams. What is your dreams? I need a drink. When you think about your dreams and something that you want to make your reality, what is it? Like, think about that for a minute. Whether it's career, family, romance, something to do with your kids, something to do with moving. What is the dream that you always come back to? What is the dream? And now I'll tell you, it's not big enough. Your dream is not big enough. Whatever the dream is that you think of, I want you to take it like 3 times bigger than what you're thinking. Because we do not realize that we could do so much more, that we could have so much more. What was my dream? To do energy work and energy healings on people. And when I got one of my first readings, he was talking about, you are not thinking big enough. You are not dreaming big enough. Like, you could have a warehouse. You could have employees. You could have your own building. You could have, and like, my dream just continually, like, when I come up with a dream, I always try to manifest and visualize something even bigger than that. And it can come true. Like, you can make your dreams come true. It just might take a little bit longer. You just might go through a couple trials, but you can make your dreams come true. And you should always try to think bigger, because we limit the view on what we think is possible, and anything is possible. Like, I didn't think that I was going to be laying my hands on people doing healing sessions, and when I was little, I did. When I was little, I believed in that. And now here I am, full circle, connecting with my inner child and being like, man, you were right all along. I should have dreamed bigger. Okay, so live in gratitude, dream bigger, don't be too hard on yourself about your dreams. And you don't need approval from anybody. Live the life you want to live. Don't let people change you. When you're in a room and you're masking yourself, that's not a room you should be in. You shouldn't have to mask yourself. You shouldn't need approval from other people. If you want to creep people out, creep people out. If they don't want to be around you anymore, oh well, those aren't your people. Okay, so let me just say my little prayer in my head, and we'll get our spiritual message for the week and what we need to prepare for. fine. It's fine. Last week I said we had to have a lot of patience. Did y'all have to have a lot of patience with last week? That was the main thing I remember. Perfect. Oh, perfect. This is great. It's fine. We'll get through the week regardless. Ooh, I like that lightning bolt. Oh, I don't like what it says though. Okay, we can do that. Okay. I really honestly should write myself a note when I do this, because I'm going to forget the spiritual message because I'm channeling the spiritual message, and then I don't remember what I'm supposed to remember for the week. The first thing that is coming across this week that we need to know about is things are not going to go the way we want them to go this week. And we're going to feel very rushed. So things are not going to go the way we thought they were going to go this week. And we're going to feel rushed. We're going to feel like we're on a clock. There's going to be a lot of, you did learn patience. Good morning. Yeah. The second thing that I would say is your spirit team's asking you to figure out stuff on your own. So try to be not so codependent, and try not to, like, a lot of the times we'll try to seek advice from other people. Everyone else is going to be rushing around. Their energy is also going to be chaotic, and they probably wouldn't give the best advice. So your spirit team is asking you to seek the truth and seek the answers and seek the guidance that you're looking for through yourself. We're also asking to have more grounding this week. So make sure that you're getting outside. You're putting your feet in the grass if you can put your feet in the grass. If you can't put your feet in the grass, that you're making sure that you're meditating. We do have a sound bath this Thursday at 7 p.m. and it is with Danielle's Healing. So that would be very helpful for grounding your energy. You can do some meditations on your own. Some of us may have disagreements with our spouses this week. If you're in that, or your friends, if you're in that category, it is asking that you show compassion to the other person and try to understand that they're also having a bad week, and that they're also feeling rushed, and they're also not, things aren't going as they want them to go as well. So try to be compassionate, forgive easily, and let go of the disagreement, and just chalk it up to it's just this week. Like, don't hold stuff against people this week. The energy is going to be chaotic. This makes so much sense because Cutler was so pissed off this morning. This is just not going to be, this is not her week. That's okay. My throat. Oh, my throat chakra. What are some crystals that we need this week? 3 crystals popped out of the crystal deck. This one tells me we're going to have mood swings and our hormones are going to be all over the place. So maybe that's another reason why we need to be compassionate and forgive a lot, because Lepidolite's my sign for bipolar, mood swings, and hormonal issues. So again, you might be crazy this week. So just apologize. just apologize and move on. Apologize, let it go. Sorry. Even if you weren't wrong, I'm telling you, let it go this week. Just let it go. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't let it go. So on top of the mood swings of this week, there's a lot of stubbornness. Let it go. Let it go. Please listen to me. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this. Let it go. Say you're sorry. I'm just going to, maybe I'll send Troy a message already. I preemptively apologize for being a witch this week. I am feeling rushed. I am feeling a little scattered. Things aren't going the way I assumed they would go this week. And I've got hormones and issues and mood swings and stubbornness, and I just can't help myself. So, and then you've got the azurite crystal, and this helps with getting to the truth of things and being able to get advice from yourself. So balancing your third eye, because again, we're not supposed to be getting advice from other people this week. Because they're not going to give you the best advice this week. Everyone's energy is going to be a little bit off this week. Trust your own vibes. See that again. Both of these are trusting your own vibes and trusting your own spiritual gifts. So taking your own advice. This week, it's going to be fine. This week is going to be fine. We're going to make it through this week like we made it through last week. Okay? So again, this week, we're going to feel rushed. We're going to feel like things are not going to as planned. We need to make sure that we're apologizing and having compassion for the other person because they are also feeling rushed and like things aren't going as planned. We're going to be a little bit stubborn and a little bit mood swingy this week. So we need to make sure that we're grounding. Everybody else is going to be a little bit stubborn and a little bit mood swingy this week. So we need to make sure that we're also getting the advice from ourselves and not from other people. So using your third eye crystals that you have and asking yourself and your own intuition for advice. Don't be codependent this week. It's not a teamwork week. It's not a teamwork week. It's a you week. It's a you week. Get your shit together. Again, trusting your own vibe. So this Archangel Raziel is the archangel that came up. So asking him to help you with your spiritual gifts and trusting in the angels to help support your intuition. Hopefully that helps. 844 40 40 44 444 444 is my spiritual sign for the goddess I'm working with, so I love that. Maybe she helped us with the spiritual message this morning. Yeah, get out your incense, get out your grounding crystals, eat root vegetables, maybe make a nice soup this week. Yeah, I hope that we all have a really, really good week. So that was our spiritual message of the week, and we already did our spiritual message for the day about your dreams. Dream bigger. Dream bigger. So I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I'm gonna go continue to channel more messages for people. We have the sound bath on Thursday. I do have some openings for afternoon energy healing sessions on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, so was my son. My son, like my morning person is my son. She just said my daughter was so stubborn this morning. And like he's a Gemini. So if you're friends with a Gemini and they're salty today, just let it go. Just let it go. He was not having it, and he didn't want to go to school, and he was smart enough that he no longer needs to be in school. Like we were having in-depth conversations about knowledge and how you have to go to school, and he doesn't because he's too smart. And I'm like, this is too early. I'm trying to get your brother on the bus, okay? and you don't get to go to wrestling if you don't go to school. And I have a client coming at 10, so you cannot stay home. You have got to go to school. And he was not having it, so the auntie sent him a video message so that he would go to school, because sometimes, like, if he doesn't listen to me and his aunts come over, he'll listen to them. Because coming from somebody else saying you have to go to school, you have to learn, or you can't go to wrestling, he actually did listen. He growled at them while listening to their videos. He was like, like, oh my gosh, what has possessed you this morning, son? What has possessed you? So anybody who has tiger's eye, if you have children and you have tiger's eye, go sneak it into their pillowcase, like right now. Go put it in their pillowcase. Go put it in your pillowcase. Go put it in your spouse's pillowcase. Go put it in your office. Like, there's so much stubbornness and mood swings, and this week is going to be great. We're not going to manifest this, but if this happens this week, we're going to ground our energy, and we're going to pull back our energy to ourselves. We call back all of our power from every person, place, and thing. We allow our energy to be our own energy. Do a lot of saging and cleansing, and I'm sorry. I'm saying sorry to everybody. I'm sorry already if I'm mood swingy, witchy, or like stubborn, or if I'm not listening. I'm just going to preemptively tell Troy that when I get off of here, like right now. So I love you guys. Have a good week. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to everybody else. And I'll talk to you later.